Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here, and in this video tonight, I'm going to actually be putting myself at risk. I'm putting my family at risk, my livelihood at risk. Many of you know I still work, I still have a job, they don't know what I do, they don't know I do this, but I'm telling you, if they found out, it's quite possible I would be unemployed and trying to figure out how to feed my family. So I want you to know that I feel like it's my duty, my constitutional duty, and my duty to you as somebody who's been bringing you the truth now for a good chunk of months, and somebody who's built trust with you and you've deemed to be reliable and trustworthy, and I appreciate that, and I'm returning the favor to you by putting myself at risk because that's what I think it's the right thing to do. I don't think you're going to see a lot of videos out there that are going to be this blatantly honest about what happened in Staten Island with the police and the bar owner today. So stay tuned and be prepared for a hot dose of the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, I guess. How you doing tonight? I'm not trying to sound down, and believe you me, inside I'm actually a raging ball of fire. I'm not down and out by any stretch of the measure, but I do have to be honest about how upsetting this is, what happened in New York, and what could start happening across the country if we don't start speaking up. Now, like I said in the introduction to this video, and if I'm a little slow at this one, I apologize. I'm just trying to carefully choose how I deliver this message to you because I don't want to give you the wrong impression. I don't want you to think that I don't support the police officers, that I don't back the blue, because I promise you I do. With the bottom of my heart, I do. But you know, when I see people that have sworn an oath to the Constitution, that have made a promise to the people in their neighborhoods, in their communities, in their states, in their precincts, whatever you want to call it, when I see people like that blindly following orders that go against the Constitution, that harm their fellow citizens, that destroy their trust with the community, that basically do everything Black Lives Matter were saying was happening to them when it wasn't happening at all. They were lying. But then we see some of you turn around and do it to us. And that's a problem. So I wanted to try to take the opportunity to, and I think you can tell this is a difficult conversation. I'm being very truthful here. If anybody's good at telling the difference, you could probably tell right now that I'm really speaking from deep down inside. Because again, I want to put this out correctly. At the end of this, I really want to inspire people, and I want to inspire police officers to do the right thing. Because we do trust you, and we do love you, and we do want to protect you. But how are we supposed to trust you when some of you are hiding behind following orders because maybe you don't want to lose your job, or you're scared to not be able to feed your families, or you're afraid for your children? But don't you realize that by doing this and not supporting the movement, by not supporting the protection of our constitutional liberties, you're actually selling your own children out? Think about that for a second, guys and gals. And this isn't directed at every police officer. It's not directed at a majority of police officers, but it's directed at police officers that maybe are thinking about this, that are questioning their own ethics and their own morals, maybe. What are they going to do? Look, I know you must be dreading You must be dreading it. You must be sitting there going, God, what are they going to do? What am I going to do if they call upon me? Am I going to follow orders, or am I going to go against orders and lose everything? I know it's hard. I know it's a tough choice because I make that choice every day. It's just going to take one lefty to get pissed off, do a background search, figure out who I am, call my boss, and I'm going to be then trying to sell you guys T-shirts because I'll be, eating out of the garbage can at that point. So I know, I get it. It's scary. It's tough, but being an honorable and courageous person is about making tough choices. So my question and my challenge to you during this and at the end of this, and there's going to be more as well, but my challenge and my question to you is, when the time comes for you to make the right decision to protect your citizens or to follow the orders of corrupt governors and become the jackboots the left speak of, but for their disposal, for their toys, for their playthings, are you going to make the right choice? Are you? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this episode, I might get a little heated or emotional. I don't know. I'm doing this off the fly. It's not scripted, but I want you to remember something about me. At heart and who I am as a veteran, I'm a sailor. So if I get emotional and during this one I curse like a sailor possibly, I'm sorry. I apologize. If it's something that offends you, I didn't mean to offend you, but this is something I'm very passionate about. This is something that involves our freedoms, and I'm a little salty, so it's something you're going to have to either deal with or switch off, but I don't want to lose you. I apologize again if it's something that offends you. We have people of all walks of life, of all different levels of conservatism following this show and listening to what we're saying. So I want to at least reach out to those people that might be a little more traditional and give them a warning in advance. It might not even happen. I might not even curse at all, but I have a feeling with how I feel tingly in my fingertips, I feel a little fire in my belly. I have a feeling I might get a little irritated during this. So just giving you a heads up. I want to go through what happened in New York. We're going to read through the article. We're going to watch the video from what happened because it's important. It's only 2 minutes, but it's important. And then we're going to talk a little bit more at the end of this. And my parents are from New York, by the way. So if when I'm pissed off, you hear my lovely radio voice become a little bit more Northeastern, I apologize. I know it can be an annoying accent to some, but we're going to go through this. We're going to talk about it. And then I'm going to let you know how I feel. And I'm going to pose maybe some hard questions out there. And I'm going to reach out to law enforcement. And I hope they understand what I'm trying to say. And I hope they don't think that we're trying to say anything negative or attack, because we're not. This has nothing to do with that. This has to do with trying to rebuild trust and understanding. And I think somebody has to say something about it. So let's start going through this. This is from Christina Layla on the Gateway Pundit. And this is, quote, Cuomo is a mobster. New York City bar owner arrested in sting operation for defying COVID order. So that's where we're at. If you didn't know what I've been mumbling about for, let me look up here, 9 minutes or so. If you don't know what I've been mumbling about, if it just sounded like garbage to you because you haven't been paying attention to the news, the friggin' cops went undercover into a bar in New York that was defying the orders, ordered some food, and then proceeded to try to fine the owner and kick him out of his own bar, his own life's work. Imagine that. Imagine somebody just came into your job and dragged you. I just told you, you can't be here anymore. Well, why? Why can't I be here? Because the city decided you can't be here. The governor. That's why. Because we think that you shouldn't make money anymore. Because we want to destroy the economy. Because we think socialism would be rad to try out, man. Peace, dude. Yeah, no. You'd tell them to go fuck themselves, wouldn't you? And I'm sorry, again, I I didn't mean to curse, but this is ridiculous. So he refused, and they arrested him and dragged him out of his bar. And we're going to go through that. We're going to read that a little bit, and you're going to see what happened. So a Staten Island bar owner was arrested on Tuesday for the crime of having his business open to the public in defiance of Cuomo's unconstitutional COVID order. And it is unconstitutional. Plainclothes officers, those are undercover cops, went into Mac's Public House in Staten Island on Tuesday and ordered food and drinks as part of a sting operation. They're literally spending money on paying undercover cops to go into bars and restaurants and try to trick the owners into breaking the fake. It's not even the law. It's some mandate that a dictator, that Cuomo, pretending to be some king, some high and mighty royal, decided to from his throne come forth and say, henceforth, you peasants shall suffer. And we're not cool with that, guys. We're not friggin' cool with that. And we're not cool with you coming into our businesses like snakes, like sneak thieves, like petty thefts in the night and tricking us and deceiving us and breaking our trust. Protesters, I'm reading again, folks. Protesters shouted as uniformed officers arrested Mac's Public House co-owner Danny Presti for violating Cuomo's COVID restrictions. We're going to read here from this press release. According to a press release from Sheriff Joseph Fusito, plainclothes deputies went inside Tuesday and ordered food in exchange for a mandatory $40 donation. I wonder why they're doing that. It's probably to stay open during all this craziness so they don't lose their homes. You dumb... Uniformed deputies went in and then issued tickets for state and city violations. Presti, 34, was uncooperative. What, he didn't want to sign it? He said, no, get out of my restaurant. This is a violation. Do you have a warrant? How about that? He was charged with obstruction of governmental administration. What the hell kind of charge is that? Obstruction of governmental administration. Should we read that with the German accent? You have been charged with obstruction of sein governmental administration. Und yeah, that's what it sounds like, ladies and gentlemen. That doesn't even sound like a law because it isn't. Oh, my God. In addition to the charges stemming from unauthorized food and beverage service, the sheriff said, this is ridiculous. Hold on a second. I'm going to get a drink. And don't worry, by request, I've gotten enough emails, I promise you. I will not be drinking this drink into the microphone. I apologize for anybody that I've driven crazy in my past videos. So just give me a second. I don't know if you caught what my shirt says there, but if you did, that's how I feel about this. Because if we don't say anything, nothing's going to change, ladies and gentlemen. How do we expect them to get our message if they don't know what it is? They're watching the same crap that's on TV that other people are watching. Presti's attorney appeared on Newsmax Tuesday night to defend his client. Attorney Lou Guillermino said that Presti was arrested because he didn't want to leave his bar, and at that point, they considered it trespassing. Imagine coming to your own home, and you walk in the door, and then a cop knocks on the door, and he says, hey, I smell you cooking dinner in there. Are you guys wearing your face masks? And he sees that you're not wearing your face mask, and he issues you a ticket. And you say, hey, get off my property. You don't have the right to give me a ticket in my own home. And then the SWAT team kicks in the door and drags you out of your home, shin kicks your wife, hog ties her, drags her out, puts the black bag over her head. Your kids have to watch. Where does this go? What does this escalate to, ladies and gentlemen? That's what terrifies me about people just following orders. There was another group of people who were just following orders. Except I'm not going to say that word and make that accusation like the left likes to do all the time. I'm going to let you think about that one and let your conscience rest upon it. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Liquid Lunch host Johnny Tobacco said Governor Cuomo, that is a hell of a name, by the way, Johnny Tobacco. It's like if he was like a pro wrestler. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring in the red corner, Johnny. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. I just never saw anybody's name like Johnny Tobacco before. Johnny Tobacco said Governor Cuomo is a mobster, folks. And I think this is something that you guys should listen to. So, take a look at this. Let me exit this ad here and let's watch this.
Yes, they're making up charges, but they charged him what they assure me is just a criminal trespass, but it's still a misdemeanor. It's still a crime, and he's still going to spend the night in jail.
You see them on the right there, dragging him out,
quote,
dragging
unquote,
him to the police
in
car.
his own establishment where he is the lease owner and general manager.
I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. But wait a second. Go ahead, John.
Greg, it's a government takeover. We just saw the government come in, raid a business, take it over, lock it down for doing absolutely nothing. We got a whole bunch of activists. People are literally stopping their cars in the street. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of people coming out to support these guys.
Thank God.
I hope there's a lot more business owners around the country. Maybe the thing to do is occupy your business. Stay in there 24 hours a day and let the sheriffs try to come in and get you out of the place. Because when they drag you out, that's when people start waking up to what's really happening. And I may just occupy the place tomorrow and do liquid lunch.
What he's saying isn't it's a fact, okay. Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, but when you're inside the place, I haven't been lately, but, you know, you keep social distancing. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do for the COVID, right?
Yes, without a doubt. Again, they were following all social restrictions. Everybody was polite and respectful, even when the officers came in, and they still were aggressive, and they still threw everybody out, and they still arrested my client.
It's like the mafia. Staten Island gets a bad rap for being like in the mob. Governor Cuomo is a mobster. He just sent down his Gestapo squad here tonight and locked the place down. Hundreds of people in the streets screaming and yelling, supporting the owners, saying leave him alone, but the Gestapo took the guy out in handcuffs.
And Greg, those people weren't in the streets until the word got out, and we were stuck in there an hour waiting for these summonses. They refused to let us out, and they refused to let me out of the place, even though I said I was their attorney and not an employee. That's when the crowd started forming. Everybody inside was polite.
Hey, can I see the door, whoever's holding?
So, really quick, they're about to show you something that's going to be really, really disturbing, okay? He's going to show you the door to this bar. And it's going to be like something you've seen in a movie where the cops are bad and they're protecting the mafia almost. It's ridiculous. Just, you'll see there's something just very eerie and very dystopian, very Orwellian, very 1984 about what you're about to see. All right, check this out, guys.
On the phone or whatever you got there, is the door, did they actually shut it? Let me just take a look if you don't mind.
All the trade is
Sorry. Oh my gosh. They're guarding the front of the... That's a bar that they're guarding?
Could you imagine you need 40 cops in the streets of Staten Island to lock up one restaurant owner for giving away free beer?
Yeah. So where are we, ladies and gentlemen? And I'm going to ask the police officers listening to this, where are we? Is that something that you're going to do? I know that not every city's the same. I'm not ignorant. I understand that. Not every state is the same. Not all police officers are the same. We're not BLM or Antifa. We're not going to paint a broad brush. All right. But this message is for as much the good police officers as it is for the bad seeds, because you have to be an influence on those people. You have to step up and lead. You have to run your precincts correctly, honoring the Constitution and serving the citizens in your communities, not imprisoning them for trying to save their family from starving to death. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you think so? I've had mixed messages. I did put a post out earlier on Parler where I talked about this. And I had a couple people contact me, and a few were saying that it's bad for the police to say anything like this. And then others were cheering it and saluting it. And I'm not one to go too far in either direction. I do kind of try to be logical about things as much as possible. But what we saw there is nothing slim out of 1984. It's not far-stretched to say that those are people acting like a Gestapo. They are. And what's next? What's going to happen next? I mean, this is absolutely atrocious. It's unacceptable. The police officers there, regardless of their excuse, they have none. They're following orders. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If your boss right now, if your boss came up to you and told you to walk outside and punch a child in the face, would you punch a child in the face? No. No, you wouldn't. Now, I know. I get it. My examples can be a little bit extreme sometimes. But I'm trying to make a point that you're not dumb. You're not just some mindless peon. If somebody came up to you and told you to do something ridiculous, you're not just going to do it. There's that old expression. If everybody jumped off the bridge, would you jump off the bridge? No, of course you wouldn't jump off the bridge. Why? Because you're a fucking adult and you had decisions to make. And so when I'm supposed to back the blue and I'm supposed to protect our police, how do I know that those aren't going to be the same police that kick my door in the middle of the night for being a Trump supporter? How do I know that? So what I am asking and challenging the police officers of this country to do is to step up, is to protect us, is to work with us, is to work within your communities, and to be brave because people look up to you. Children look up to you. I know a lot of you have felt hopeless for a very long time because many of your governors and mayors don't support you. But you have to rise above that and be the example. You have to expose these people and set yourself apart from these people. And if it means losing your job to protect your citizenry, do you really want to be a part of those held accountable once all of these governors and these crooked politicians are held accountable? Do we have to say it like that? I would think you would want to do the right thing, just like all of us would want to do the right thing. So, again, I challenge you. Be our partners, be our neighbors, be our watchers, be our protectors. Be vigilant for us, be strong for us, work with us, stand shoulder to shoulder with us, and we'll stand shoulder to shoulder with you. But don't sell us out. Don't cut us short. And don't screw us over to save your own skin. The American people are not going to accept that. They're just not anymore. Again, I mean this with all due respect. I appreciate the police and I back the blue, but I think somebody had to say something. I think it was the right thing to do. So, if you support me, if you appreciate what we're doing here, I would request that you would please share this video. You would please, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, do me a favor, give me a 5-star rating. That really helps more people see this. Apple sees that, moves us up on the list there. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, please like, please comment, get this around. If you're listening on Rumble, do the same thing, or watching on Rumble actually. We're on Audible, we're on Amazon, we're on Spotify, we are all over the place. So if you could please show us that support. And if you really are looking for a way to help, I have equipment upgrades to do. I have business expenses. I basically support this with my day job. So there's no income coming in besides that. So if you could do me a favor, if that's what you really want to do, if you'd love to help, we would really appreciate it. Go to www.americanreveille.com. That's REVEILLE.com. head over to the donate tab and you can donate anything, even $1. It helps, and we are grateful for it. Everlastingly grateful. I really do appreciate all the support we've been getting, and I hope you'll keep watching, and thank you so much, and enjoy your Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, this is President U.S. Grant, Ulysses S. Grant, unconditional surrender grant. And I propose we get rid of the Grammys, we get rid of the Emmys, and we start the Granties. And the Granties would be given to extraordinary Americans who worked their butt off and came from dregs and came from hardship and failed and learned hard lessons and still overcame their utter animalistic humanity and rose to great heights to do great things for this country. But I digress, because I'm not here to talk to you about the Granties. I'm here to talk to you about coming to Parler from whatever social media you're on. And if you're already on Parler and you're seeing this, that's great too. But I want you to go to our Parler page here for the American Reveille. It's at The James Lane. The James Lane, Lane. The American Reveille. I am James Lane. I'm a veteran. I'm the owner and operator of the American Reveille. And all you got to do is come to Parler, sign up, and follow me. You'll see a little follow thing here. Here, look, we can go to Megyn Kelly's. You see how it says follow right there? You want to follow me on Parler, if this thing will ever go backwards. There we go. And be one of the 7,500 people that love the American Reveille. We are patriotic. We are in your face. We are here for you, for the right. We the people, for the people. And we are fighting the good fight as digital soldiers against the left. The more people that join our cause, the more we can spread the message and we can beat down this evil leftist ideology. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, you're probably watching this on Rumble. And folks, Rumble is going to take down YouTube. It is the rising platform for uncensored voices, including many of your favorite conservative voices, including me, James Lane, here at the American Reveille. So when you're watching this and you're on Rumble, you're going to see right over here this little subscribe button. I need you to hit that button and subscribe to the American Reveille on Rumble. I need you to share this. I need to get the word out, because we are a community and we are right. We are righteous. We are on the right path to victory. The left does not stand a chance, and we will prevail.